You're talented, but have a tendency to scrimp on your work and to cut corners and to, you know, take shortcuts and not give your best, it is actually such a turn off. And they didn't hire um, you for the low level of um, service which you would give out if like you're not feeling it. They hired you for the level that you had presented to them. So show them that. Okay? Next is someone who is willing to learn every day. I know that this is something that you already know because you're an experienced VA and you're not new at this, and you know that this career is so dynamic. You practically cannot survive if you are not willing to learn. So just continue that, okay? Next is open for communication. What do I mean by this? It means that you are receptive of um, suggestions, you are receptive of instructions, okay? You respond accordingly and you ask questions. It's so important to not uh, always agree on everything, even if you don't understand. It is so important to clarify if you don't understand, okay? Because it would be very frustrating on both of your ends if it turns out that you didn't understand the instructions, but you just assume things and then you just guess, and then the work doesn't uh, get accepted. You have to do it all over again and you waste time. Being open for communication is also being receptive of feedback. And when you are receptive of feedback, you don't just nod and say, yes, yes, I will change. But also, it's about really showing that there's improvement. Okay, so when somebody gives you feedback, when somebody gives you suggestions, be quick to implement. Okay, number 6, easy to contact. Now, this is super major. Let me tell you that. As a boss myself, it I want you to understand that being a boss is super difficult, especially when there's so many deadlines that you want to get done, and then you're working with people who are not responsive to chat messages, to phone calls, and everything. It can be so overwhelming and it can be so frustrating. And it is actually like um, when a worker, when a VA, when an assistant is not responsive to chat messages, to text messages, to phone calls, and everything, it actually breeds trust issues. I would like to liken that to you when you're trying to, let's say, contact your husband or your boyfriend or your girlfriend and things like that, and then nobody is answering. That can be so frustrating, and you start to build on those doubts, and you start on uh, getting nervous. So that is how bosses are experiencing things. It can be very overwhelming. It can be very uh, it can be such a struggle. So please, please, okay, if when you start with your client, be proactive in asking what's your dynamic when communicating, because you don't also want to badger your client with a lot of phone calls if they're not the type to answer phone calls. Some people are more receptive with chat messages, iMessage, uh, Skype, Viber, things like that. So ask them what platform to use and ask them what time if there is a particular time of day that they require you to initiate contact. Also, uh, ask them how often you're going to be doing like video conversations. For me, it's super important to always have time to have a one-on-one with your client. I mean, I know that it can be so tiring and it's so tempting to just chat, but I would suggest a weekly thing, you know? But ask them if they would like to do that, okay? Because you would, it's really in your best interests to be close to their hearts. It's really in your best interests to, to have your presence known, because then uh, no thoughts in their mind would be planted that there is no difference with not having a VA. Okay? Make your presence known, because when they don't feel that you're present and you're just doing things in the background, they're not going to feel that there is a difference. They're not going to notice that they have a VA, and then they might as well cancel because that's already an extra amount that they're paying every month without knowing that you're actually contributing so much. So make your presence known, okay? Another, okay, next is cheerful and smiling, okay? I recall that one of my assistants before was, I don't know, maybe it was really her personality, but she wasn't the type to always smile. And at first, I didn't understand this, and I was so worried if she was happy with the job that I'm giving her, and if she's happy working for me, because I was always like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And she'd say, "Okay." And even if I was the boss, I was like, it made me feel insecure because I want to be able to inspire her to do her best work, but then here she goes. She's very like unfeeling and grouchy, and it really does matter, guys. So smile, be cheerful. It's more attractive. It's, you know, I don't think that being grouchy is cool at all. And, you know, being indifferent, it's not cool, okay? It's way cooler to be warm and to be nice and kind. Next is courteous and polite. So even if our clients are, sometimes they're age, sometimes they're younger, but um, learn to still be courteous, polite. Show them our Filipino values. Show them how we take care of people. Over familiarity is something that we shouldn't cross the line, because, like, for example, don't be too comfortable saying, let's say, curse words or the N word or things like that to your client. You don't know how sensitive they are about like racial stereotypes, gender stereotypes. Be very cautious about sensitive matters, especially that they're not from the Philippines. We know for a fact that we Filipinos, we just take things lightly, we're very chill, but we never know with your client, even if they may be so nice and things like that. You don't know their background. Next is honest. Okay, what do I mean by honest? Honesty is when you don't cut corners on your job. Honesty is keeping the confidentiality of the information of your client. Okay? It means that you don't show other people their access. It means that you respect the work that you do, you respect your client. Honesty is doing the work that you're committed to do and not, you know, turning it over with somebody and giving somebody else access to the client just because you want to party or things like that. Okay, unless if you ask permission and if your client agrees that that is okay, if you have like a replacement or something, please do not do this. Okay, there have been situations in the past that this had happened to like one of our people, and it was so disheartening. The client had to cancel because they felt that they couldn't trust us, and um, we didn't have that intention, but the the VA did not ask for permission. Next is punctual and on time. So whether you are on a rigid schedule or a flexible schedule, this still applies. Okay, especially if you're on a rigid schedule. Obviously, if you agree to like meet at exactly 8 a.m. CST or like 8 a.m. Philippine time or Manila time or whatever it is really that your schedule is, make sure that you are already online like a good 20 to 30 minutes, because it is so unprofessional when they have to wait on you. When our clients ask for a meeting, please be on time, because usually they already have agenda and schedules that they wish to enforce, and when you are late for a couple of minutes, you you don't know what activities you're actually obstructing for that. Be respectful of their time. Also, if you're on a flexible schedule, make sure to keep in contact with them at the time that they are starting their business day. Like, for instance, even if you're on a flexible schedule, you know your client starts his day at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. Please send a message to your client by 7:45 a.m. CST. Make your presence known, okay? Because you do not want to be forgotten here. You don't want to be lost in oblivion. If they forget you, it means that they won't need you and you will lose your job. Okay? That's not a threat, but really it's the reality. It doesn't mean that you are on a flexible schedule, that you will also just be like a ghost in the background. Always establish. In fact, I would suggest if you could keep an ongoing alarm as to when you're going to like greet them. Hi, good morning. Hope you're having a great day. I'm starting my tasks today at about this time, but I just wanted to tell you because I know that you were just starting your day. I just want you to know that I'm here if you need me, okay? Just that, very simple. Next is accountable. So, what do I mean by accountable? It means that when you're given a task, you're going to own it, you're going to like check yourself on it, and you're not going to be like um, a total slacker where your client has to always follow up, like when are you going to submit it and stuff like that. Stick to your deadlines. If, for example, a deadline is unrealistic, speak up before you even start the task and be realistic and be honest. Okay? Accountability is also something that we help you with, and that's the reason why we have tools like Time Doctor. Uh, First and foremost, the Time Doctor app. I know that it's very bothersome to have Time Doctor on, but it is for your best interests, because remember that I have been a boss too. I mean, I have been a first time boss too, and bosses do get paranoid if they're wondering like, what am I paying for really? Are they just on Facebook? Are they just like uh, taking selfies and doing nothing? So although we don't want a total micromanager as a client, and they know that I've been training them on not being a micromanager, but please help your clients ease their paranoia by installing that, being consistent on working on that, and for example, if you have already established regularity and everything, uh, you can always find a way to like go around that. But I wouldn't suggest that though, because it is highly recommendable to always have it on, because in cases of disputes, they cannot dispute like not paying you if uh, there are logs, there are actual logs of the times that you've been working. Another way that we help you out here in Virtualance is through the pre-shift report and also the end of day report. We're going to send you templates of those reports. Our lovely admin officer, Diana, devised those reports and they're brilliant. Please follow the format. It will be in your best interest. In fact, our clients have commented that since we enforced the new format, they feel so much better and so much more assured that things are getting done. Okay? Do not forget to send the pre-shift and post-shift report to your clients, the beginning and the end of your day, of your workday, and CC it to our Virtualance tracking email. We do this so that we can always check up on you, not because we want to like give you hell about things, but because we know that human nature would always win over reason, and human nature would tell us to be lazy when nobody's checking and nobody is keeping us accountable. So we're just your guardian angels here, okay? Next is we'll find ways to make things happen. So it's so annoying to actually be working with somebody who's always saying, I can't do that, or no, I haven't tried that, I don't have an experience with that, no, I can't do it. Unless, of course, if they're, asking for something super duper ridiculous or illegal or immoral, I would suggest you really, try. If you haven't tried it in the past, you can Google it, you can try to like learn, you can ask questions or be honest and say, I have not tried this, but I will give it your best shot. Is that fine with you? Things like that, right? Because what is the use of having a VA if they're always being like, I can't do that, I don't want to do that. They would rather not have a VA then. Next is good listener. What does this mean, being a good listener? Being a good listener is being able to like take all the information in, taking notes, taking important notes, being serious about instructions, treating the instructions of your client like gold and not just taking things for granted if they have messages for you. When they have issues, allow them to vent. It really helps. Like, you're not just VA just to do random tasks. For me, the best kind of VA relationship is being able to have a partner in crime in your business. And what that entails is having somebody who will listen to you, will listen to the boss when they have issues so that they can help each other resolve things. So allow them to vent. If you notice that your boss is like feeling frustrated, offer to be a listening ear. That will make your relationship so much better, and it can really help you understand where your client is coming from. And when they see that you are also very in tune with emotional needs and you really care beyond even the tasks, they will feel more kindred feelings for you. They will feel that they matter, and ultimately they're going to be nicer to you. Let's just admit that that's so important. Okay, they're not going to just think that you're just a seat filler and they can just replace you, because genuine people, especially people, of course, when you show that you're concerned with your client, be genuine. But people who care, people who are genuine, they're very rare, and it's harder for clients to let go of you that way. I personally do that to all of my clients, and that is maybe my secret as to why clients really stay with me. And maybe that's the reason why I was really able to like build this company, because I just had so many clients who wouldn't let go. Now, next is follow instructions. So when you're given instructions, be serious about it, read it, double read it, go ahead and do your task, and then read the instructions again, and then double check if you were able to do it. Okay. People who are very haphazard with instructions can be pain to a lot of clients, especially when your client is very like particular with standards or instructions. Some clients are very detail oriented, so be careful about that. C, what do clients hate? Unreliable, obviously. All of us bosses hate people who are flaky. If you say things, then you do it. Okay. If you promise, then uh, please follow through. 2, always late to work or absent. This is so important. I mean, you're already given that opportunity to not be caged in an office environment. You just have to wake up. You just have to, you know, uh, put your get yourself together and sit on your desk and work. There is no reason to be absent or late. Don't find excuses why you can't do things. Why you have to like delay on things. And if you really have a legitimate reason, there is no reason not to make up for the work on the same day. Unless, of course, if like it's left in that situation like Yolanda, earthquakes that are like super huge. But for the rest of it, please find a way to be present and to be on time. Procrastinator. Okay. Always pushing back deadlines. This is so annoying. So, to prevent this, I have suggested clients to give the tasks in advance. And if you can't meet your deadlines, please be honest in advance. Do not give the bad news during the deadline, because you don't know, maybe they're going to use it for like an event on that day or something. You don't want to uh, cause a bigger problem. 4, does not submit things on time. That's the same. Okay. Well, procrastinator uh, doesn't have to be submissions, maybe like getting back with customers, being non-responsive or like late in responding to customers. That is also procrastination. Next, grumbling and always mumbling or has a lot of hesitations. So negative uh, body uh, body language regarding tasks. We can really read that. If you are negative about the job, then maybe you should really reconsider not being a VA, right? But you were hired here for a reason, and it's because we believe that you have the right attitude. So please do not fail us. Okay, VAs who cut corners in their tasks that affect work quality. Again, the clients hired you because they know your quality. So if they see that you are not up to par, then it is, congruent to you not giving your best. They can see that, and it's a total turn off. 7, always has excuses about everything. Okay, people who are underperformers and not getting things done are people who always have excuses. Don't be among those people. 8, negative thinking. Always saying, oh, I don't know, maybe we can't do it. Being very scared that you can't do it. Being shy about, presenting your ideas. Don't be negative. Believe in yourself. 9, difficult to contact, does not answer calls, Skype messages, emails immediately. Okay, so communication is our lifeblood. You have to understand your client cannot uh, see you. You're not in their office. So the least that you can do is to make them feel assured that you are there. Okay? So answer immediately, even if like I know that you know I know that it can be annoying because when you were working in an office, your boss has no right to like call you at home and say, okay, Raka, things like that, right? Or like, have you given the task? But when it's more virtual, that is the trade off, okay? That is the trade off. There is no such thing as not answering the client because it's not your work time. It can be understandable if you're at church or like doing something else, but when your client does contact you, even if it's a weekend, unless of course if they will like ask you to do like a task and it is your weekend, and um, but if it's a question like, hi, were you able to email things? A simple yes could have sufficed. Please don't be difficult, okay? I trust you on that. Then, rude to the boss and his customers, okay? How would you feel if you uh, build a store and you hire people, then you go on your merry way and build your business, and then not knowing that the people that you entrusted your store are really rude to your customers? So please, you are a representation of your client, and um, make sure that you give them justice. Even if they're not like the kind, like for example, if your boss is not the kindest person in the world, um, that's one thing. Always tell us like if you have issues, but do not, uh, do not, uh, do not direct your anger towards the customers. Okay, and even if your client can be like too much sometimes, please don't be rude. Okay, let me handle it because I am the one handling the clients. Even if I am uh, the CEO of the company, but I am actually the lead contact of the clients. I treat them like family, so they will listen to me when I have feedback for them. Tell me, tell your admin officer and your manager about it, and then let us uh, do it in our end. Don't be rude, okay? Please, because um, you were not there when you acquired the client. You have no idea how much we spend on acquiring clients, and please also respect our work regarding that. 11, dishonest. Okay, cheating on your time, cheating on your tasks, letting other people access the client's work, files, things like that without permission. 12, goes against regulations, rules, and contract. Your client may have different rules and regulations aside from our rules and regulations. Please follow those. The rules and regulations are not there to stifle you, but it's actually to protect you, and it's actually to help you be, to actually help you enjoy what it is to be a VA that has consistent work. It also means that you have to follow the confidentiality clause. It means that you also have to follow the non-compete clause. We're not just saying this because, of course, it's very unethical to steal clients and go behind their back and do that. I hope you know that there's so much support and like work that we do here behind the scenes to acquire the clients, to take care of the clients, to guide the clients, be the kind of bosses. So please also take into account our effort of um, acquiring the clients. Please don't steal them from us. Of course, we also have like sanctions for that. We will sue you. I mean, you saw the contract. We will try to collect um, fines for it. But beyond that, I hope you can respect um, the level of effort that we have already extended, even way before you were hired. So that is this release that we can ask from you. 13, disloyal. How can you be disloyal? It's when you give your client list or your like contact lists to your client's competitor or things like that. So many ways. Think about how you can be disloyal. Um, it's blatantly like not following instructions so that um, the business of your client will be in shambles. There's so many instances. 14, always late in submitting work. We have mentioned that. Okay. We will be following up with the clients if you have been consistent, because if you when when somebody is always late in submitting work, it means that they're not in the level that we are expecting our people to be in. They're not in the standard. So if you are consistent, I mean, there may be times that it is excusable, especially if there really is a valid reason. But if it's consistent, if it's a habit, I'm going to tell you in advance, we are going to replace you and find another assistant for in your place if if it bothers your client so much. So commit to your clients in this way. Next is always blaming others for failures in the job. Don't be the kind of person who's always complaining and always grumbling and like negative, because when you are negative, the work becomes harder, and everybody or in your surroundings will feel that energy, and you'll just bring a lot of bad mojo. Next is will give up at every opportunity to avoid work. Okay, that's like work avoidance. Like for instance, what can be instances of work avoidance? If it's a Friday night and then you had agreed to work on Friday nights, and then you're a party person. If you are a party person, please do not agree to work on a Friday night. Okay, but let's say you had agreed and then you wanna go in your merry way and avoid working your shift. We will be checking you on that. So please be honest upfront if it's not something that you can do, like to show up on a weekend or something. Next is refuses to listen to the boss and the customers. It's understandable. Avoiding the client when the job is not done yet and does not give updates. Okay, I've noticed that this is so common to not just VAs but to humans in general. Like when we have deadlines and then we're feeling guilty and then we're being followed up on a certain deadline, I noticed that people, instead of being responsive and assuring their clients that it's coming, they pretend that they didn't receive the message. They don't intentionally read messages so that it doesn't show up like a red or seen zone or something. And this can be so frustrating. As a boss, there is nothing wrong with admitting if you're not yet done. As long as you face your client, you face your boss, and then immediately say when it can be submitted. Of course, don't make it a habit to always be late, but if in case it has to happen and it's already happening, do not be avoidant. Do not be uh, hiding. It really uh, breeds mistrust and always complaining. Nobody likes people who are always complaining. And then 20th, backstabbing, gossiping about co-workers, your boss, etc. Okay. Obviously, I wouldn't want you to be backstabbing me and your coworkers. And we also have that even in the contract, like we don't tolerate what's this? When you malign your coworkers, your boss, your client. But why do we ask you to not do this?